Hello YouTube, how's everyone doing? It's Professional here. Welcome back to my playthrough of Ace Attorney. So we're coming back to this part here, and we're continuing on Case 4. So let's see how this goes. This case is a bit weird, but I guess we're gonna see how it ends. So let's see what happens now. District Court. Courtroom number 4. A lot of you guys in the comments have told me that the 5th case in Spirit of Justice is the best case in the entire series. So I'm really excited to play that one.
Now that the sweet buns have arrived, this court is now back in session.
Go on, Undo, eat up.
Nice flavor. You can really taste the sake.
Yeah, so you would never be permitted to eat anything in the courtroom. This is such a ridiculous scene right now.
That was delicious.
Yes, a unique sweetness and the faint aroma of sake. Yet, I hardly think that anyone could pass out from eating something like this. What's the matter, Undo? You're not afraid of a tiny, manju, are you?
Are you scared of how many calories it has?
Don't be ridiculous. A sweet little snack like this couldn't possibly, I mean, it could never. Less bleeding, more eating, witness. Yeah, you cannot force a witness to eat something. This makes no sense. Fine, whatever. Let's see if he passes out and his 4th personality takes over. See? I told you. It don't affect me in the slightest. We might be a little lightweight, but come on, nobody's that light. This is seriously, nobody gets drunk off of one little bun. Is this Owen? What the hell? It looks like it worked.
Oh my! Witness, please tell the court your name and occupation.
Oh. What's going on? Even the Yuda's like, what's going on? My name is Owen. Oh, I'm 5. What? You're 5 years old. Am I in trouble? Please don't yell at me. Oh.
So he's Undo's 4th personality.
I'd hardly think a child like him could have a motive to murder the victim. And even if he had a motive, could he have actually committed the murder?
That's a very good point. Owen does appear to be very timid and weak.
But it's just his personality. Oh. It seems the defense is hoping that this hidden personality will be the real killer. But now that he is standing here before us, it is clear that none of Undo's personalities can be that killer. Eek! Where can I even go from here? Shizo. Owen, do you know something about what happened to your master? Wah. Come on, buddy. Won't you tell Auntie Athena what happened? What a scary lady. I'm not scary. Look at the auntie's big smile. Tell me about your master, please. Pretty please with sugar on top. Oh, okay. Shizo was super nice. He always played with me. Just like a real grandpa. I loved Shizo. Athena, do you sense anything behind his words? I sense his sadness. Sadness so pure it's heart-rending, but no discord. Prosecutor Sadmani is right. Owen isn't the killer. Then who is? But then, don't you find it odd? Find what odd? Let's review what we've learned so far. Undo rearranged the Karuta cards to pin the blame on Bucky. Well, that's because the original message implicated Owen. But Owen is only 5 years old and absolutely adores Master Toneido. Exactly. The other 3 personalities also have no motive for murder. If Owen isn't the true culprit, then the person who first laid out the cards probably wouldn't have been Master Toneido, so then who did it?
Defense. Did the appearance of Owen help you figure anything out?
What if the killer is Geiru? Yes, Your Honor. I now know who it was that first laid out the Karuta cards.
But I thought it was the victim, right?
No, Your Honor. I don't believe it was. The one who first arranged the Karuta cards on the table was none other than... Probably wouldn't have been Master Toneido. So then who did it? I'm gonna say the true killer. I believe the person who laid the cards out is the very person who killed Taifu Toneido. How quickly you move onto a new target when your Owen theory proves false. You Polkunkan. I don't know what a Polkunan is, but I know I definitely am not one. And before you start with the ceremonies, why don't you hear me out?
Yes, let's hear the defense's reasoning. Please proceed, Miss Sykes. But if you are bluffing, I won't go easy on you.
I understand, Your Honor. Now then, please recall the original crime scene. Who did the Karuta card's name when the scene was discovered?
Let's see. I believe they implicated the defendant, Bucky Wet.
That's right. But we then found out that the message originally read Owen 4.
Which implicated a young boy Owen.
Exactly. And the person who rearranged the cards was undoubtedly Undo.
Undo may have kept silent, but we can be sure he already knew his master was dead. His tampering with the crime scene using the TV all but proves it.
I confess. I tampered with the crime scene.
The reason Undo rearranged the Karuta cards and moved the TV was because he saw the Owen 4th message and was convinced Owen had committed the crime.
Right on, Prosecutor Blackquil. It would seem that Owen and the other 3 personalities don't share the same memories. But really, there is no fourth personality, just the 3 of us in here. Undo feared that Owen had killed Master Toneido, so he tried to hide Owen from us. Oh.
But it turns out Owen is but a 5-year-old child incapable of hurting a fly, let alone his beloved master.
So naturally, the culprit must be somebody else. And this somebody else, the true killer, tried to pin the crime on Owen. So who did it?
I see. That does make sense.
Objection.
This is not but conjecture composed of half-truths and fantasy. Who then do you maintain murdered the victim? I believe Owen might know something about that.
Objection.
I refuse to allow such impromptu testimony, and from a 5-year-old no less. Literally, says the guy who let a guy with amnesia testify. If you're gonna let a guy with amnesia testify, then you can also allow a 5-year-old to testify. And also, for people wondering, can a 5-year-old testify? It's a very gray area. Certain states might have certain laws on that, on how old you have to be to testify, but you could actually have a child testify. It is possible to do it. Such a young child is incapable of producing anything coherent.
Objection.
But your desperation is disgraceful. You should realize when it is time to let go, and I saw it. I saw Shizo getting... Owen, do you know, you do know something, don't you? Yeah.
Oh my, is this true? If so, we must have Owen testify immediately. Don't you agree, Prosecutor Sad Matty? It's alright, Owen. Go ahead and tell us what you know.
Okay, I'm really curious. Who is he gonna say killed
killed Master Toneido. Let's see who he's gonna implicate. I saw it. Shizo was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping out onto Shizo's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. What? Shizo had a knife? This eyewitness testimony from the moment of the murder. Owen, can you tell us anything else about what you saw? I was so scared. Oh, so scared. Owen! His emotions are spiraling out of control. Something must have really frightened him.
Is he alright?
His emotions are running wild because he's trying to recall something frightening to him. I recommend a therapy session right away.
I see. Yes, please do whatever you can to help the poor boy.
Will do, Your Honor. Better find the cause of these out-of-control emotions pronto. His emotions are just spiraling out of control. Shizo was standing with a knife. Okay, wait, I have to probe. Shizo was standing with a knife in his hand. Blood was dripping onto Shizo's face, getting it all red. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. The blood. I would say the blood is probably scaring him.
Got it.
He had a knife before he died? Yeah, blood was dripping down onto Shizo's face. Blood. I don't remember seeing any blood in the crime scene photos. It's from the noodle, it's from the noodles. It wasn't blood. It was... Besides, if the victim was standing upright, how could blood drip down onto his face? As I expected, all we managed to obtain from this child is a tale he dreamt up. I guess it's a little weird for blood to drip onto the victim's face if he was standing up. Unless it dripped down from the ceiling or something. What do you think, Simon? It's the noodles. It's not blood.
I don't know.
Owen's one confused and upset kid right now.
So who knows how accurate his memory is?
Maybe it's time for that thing instead. Huh? What thing? That thing that you and your cohorts do. What do you call it? Rotate your thinking about? Oh, you mean turn your thinking around. Yes, whatever. It's the same thing either way. No, it isn't. Who has ever heard of rotating your thinking? I mean, rotate is... Hey, wait a minute. What? You know what, Simon? In this case, I think rotate just might work perfectly after all. Come again? All I have to do is rotate things by 90 degrees. When he saw his master, Owen must have been... Blood was dripping down onto Shizo's face. Press flat against the wall. No. I'm gonna say probably lying on the floor. I think it's lying on the floor. Let's see. It doesn't... Doing a handstand, it makes no sense. Lying on the floor. Owen must have been lying on the floor when he witnessed his master's murder.
What?
That's the conclusion I arrived at when I rotated my thinking by 90 degrees. Which means that all the visuals in my matrix were off by 90 degrees.
And?
This means Master Toneido was also lying on the floor, which solves another mystery.
And which mystery is that?
The mystery of how blood could have been dripping onto the victim's face. It becomes much easier to imagine how that could happen if he was lying down. Like somebody bleeding onto Master Toneido's, from somewhere up above him. I remember now. Somebody was sitting up on top of Shizo. Okay, we got the noise level down to 70%, so trying to recall his master's bloody killer is what spooked Owen originally.
The blood that stained the victim's face red came from the person sitting on top of him. The victim was holding a knife, so he likely nicked his attacker as he was fighting back. This means his assailant was injured on their face somewhere, like the forehead, perhaps. Assuming the victim and his attacker were face-to-face, and yes. I see. So that is what happened. But if I recall correctly, the accused has a fresh bandage on his forehead, does he not? Oh, he does! I forgot about that. That injury of Mr. Wet's is conclusive evidence that he committed this murder. Why? Could he have actually done it, though? It seems you have dug yourself into a pit you cannot crawl out of. No. Even though I figured out that the reason for Owen's out-of-control emotions, all I did was raise further suspicion against my own client. What do I do now? What's the matter? You aren't thinking of throwing in the towel, are you? But it looks so bad for Bucky. I mean, he had both motive and opportunity. Plus, he has the injury in his forehead. Your Honor, I sense the defense is finally ready to let it go and move on.
Well, Miss Sykes, I understand that you don't want to give up on your client, but I won't allow you to prolong this trial without a good reason.
Well, that lawyer did her best, but all the signs point to the defendant's guilt. Maybe it's time she gave up. She tried everything she could. I really, really don't want to back down now, but...
Silence!
Athena, are you having doubts about Bucky's innocence?
I wouldn't say that, it just...
Do you remember what you said to Bucky earlier this morning?
You mean, you believe me, ma'am? Of course, no matter what, I'll believe in you to the very end.
Were those just empty words?
Of course not. It's just that all the cards are stacked against us.
Are you still stuck on that line of thinking?
Motive, opportunity, and an injury to his forehead. Is that all it takes to make you stop believing in your client? Tell me again, who are you to Bucky? I'm Miss Chickadee Lawyer. Then do your duty and believe in him until the very end. I will. Simon's absolutely right. I'm Bucky's lawyer, and he's depending on me.
Defense team, please, no fighting in my courtroom.
The defense is ready to resume, Your Honor. Prosecutor Blackquil just giving me a pep talk, that's all. Thank you, Prosecutor.
I didn't do it for your sake.
I did it for the future of Wet Soba. Yeah, I got it. The defense would like to now continue with Owen's therapy session.
Owen, would you be alright with that?
Okay. So somebody was sitting up on top of Shizo, bleeding from their head, and smushing something into Shizo's face. That's funny. What is it? I still hear discord in Owen's voice, but I don't sense any inconsistencies between his statements and his emotions. And there don't seem to be any contradictions in his testimony itself either. So what does that mean?
Ah, so that's it, huh?
Did you figure something out?
Your ability to sense emotions is making you focus too much on his feelings, Athena. But there's actually something he's been very vague about in his testimony.
Who did it?
If you can clarify what he's feeling uncertain about with some evidence, you should be able to move forward from there.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give it a try. I'll just update the mood matrix with the new information, and then we'll be ready to go. So I just need to present some evidence on what Owen is being vague about, huh? Okay. Shizo had blood in his face and a knife in his hand. He was on the floor and somebody was smushing something into his face. That's when he got suffocated. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared I passed out. Somebody was smushing something into his face. This is what he's vague about. I think it's this one. This is what he's being vague about. Okay, who's the killer then? He was on the floor and somebody was smushing something into his face. Nothing was found in his lungs. Is it the... It's gotta be Geiru. Geiru's the only other person that could have been the killer. He was on the floor and somebody was smushing something into his face. Nothing was found in his lungs. This, I would say.
Objection!
Does this piece of evidence go against the statement of yours? No, it's not it, because it's going to, the music, when you get the right answer in Ace Attorney, the music stops playing. He is sitting upright, so could this be it? The crime scene photo.
Objection!
Yeah, he's sitting upright. Let's put a name to the thing Owen's uncertain of, shall we? By identifying the murder weapon that was used to suffocate the victim. Fortunately for us, I spy the murder weapon right here in this crime scene photo. Unfortunately for you, I spy nothing of the sort. And the police did not spy anything of the sort during their investigation either. Pray tell, where is this murder weapon you see? You didn't see it because it no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. This is what the killer pressed into Master Toneido's face. What is the murder weapon? The bowl? What did the culprit press into Master Toneido's face? It doesn't... It no longer looks the way it did when it was used as a weapon. This. Is it the bowl?
Take that!
It's right here in the photo.
You really think that's what the murderer pressed into the victim's face?
No. Okay.
Objection!
It no longer looks the way... It no longer looks the way it did.
Take that!
The mystery Owen, that person that Owen saw press Soba into the victim's face, thereby suffocating him. I grow weary of your tasteless jokes. How can anyone commit murder with soft, delicate Soba? The noodles would instantly fall apart if they were pressed into somebody's face.
Yes, I agree.
Well, I disagree. There is a way the Soba could have been used to suffocate the victim.
What? You will explain your theory at once, Miss Sykes.
To kill Master Toneido, the culprit must have smothered him with... uncut Soba dough, because the dough is all over the room. The culprit must have used the soba before it was cut into noodles. In other words, the murder weapon was a raw soba dough.
What? Order! Order in the court! Yes, soba dough could definitely be used to suffocate someone, couldn't it?
Are you alright, Prosecutor Sad Matty? I was just letting the soul of the victim know that the accused will finally face justice thanks to this foolish lawyer before me. Huh? What are you talking about? Allow me to summarize your statements. As the accused was killing the victim, he was slashed in the face by the victim's knife. The weapon he used to suffocate the victim was the dough in the dressing room. He then disposed of the murder weapon by cutting the soba dough into noodles. Why, you smarmy! Afterwards, the accused put the victim's face into the bowl of soba noodles and broth to wash off the blood that had dripped onto the victim's face from his own. And there you have it, the true sequence of events behind this foul affair. Hang on a second, wait a second. Wait, I'm thinking of something right now. Master Toneido was confirmed alive at 4 p.m. Bucky, who had entered the room at 4:10 and left at 4:20. Udon discovered the victim's body upon entering the room after Bucky left. Before Bucky came to the pewter, Geiru was outside feeding her dog a number of dumplings. The dog buried his leftovers in the yard. What if Geiru did it, and the dumplings that she was feeding the dog, was the uncooked dough? What if that was it, but the dog didn't want to eat it, so the dog buried it? What if that's the possibility? Now wait just a minute. I never once said that Mr. Wet was the culprit. Who but the accused knows how to cut dough into noodles, defense? But they didn't cut it into noodles, they disposed of it.
That's a very good point, Prosecutor Sad Matty. I heard that cutting soba dough into uniform noodles requires considerable training. But then, what about the dying message? How do you explain that? The defendant wouldn't have known about Udon's Owen personality.
Perhaps the victim was simply playing with the cards, and they hold no other meaning. Perhaps he spelled out Owen's name in jest, before his murder.
That's true. From Owen's testimony, it's clear that Master Toneido cared for the boy. It appears we've arrived at a compelling conclusion. Taken together, all of these points paint a convincing picture of the defendant's guilt.
Owen, is there anything else you can tell us? It doesn't matter how small of a detail, anything will do. Oh, you're scaring me. Oh, I'm sorry, Owen. Auntie Athena didn't mean to raise her voice. I have to be gentler with him. I can't forget he's only 5 years old. No need to be scared, Owen, sweetie. Just tell us anything you can remember. Well, when I woke up, the person who killed Shizo was standing over me, bleeding from their head. Owen, you saw the killer's face. bleeding over their head. What if she's covering it up with the nose or the top of her hair? It could be Geiru. I think it's Geiru. Oops, I did it again. So, who was it, Owen? Do you remember? Oh, I don't know who it was. I'm picking up some noise. That means there's still something to uncover in Owen's testimony. I don't know what Owen saw, but suffice it to say, we are analyzing the dreams of a child. You've wasted enough of our time, Defense. Let it go and move on. No! No! There's still discord in Owen's heart that needs to be addressed. Therefore, I can't give in here.
Owen, do you think you can continue your testimony for us?
Okay. I'll enter the new info and run an update then. Okay, I have to find the emotion that doesn't make sense. And somebody was smushing dough into his face. I couldn't move at all. I was so scared, I passed out. And when I woke up, the person who killed Shizo was standing over me. Why are they happy? Why are they happy? This makes no sense. Despite witnessing the culprit's terrible crime firsthand, Owen experienced a positive feeling, one of relief. The person the witness saw was no stranger, rather it was the accused. Therefore, it is only natural that he felt some level of relief when he saw a familiar face. Defense, end this madness and sully your soul no more. Owen, who did you see? That nice smell. I love the smell of that perfume. It was Geiru. Geiru's wearing the perfume. She has that. It's Geiru. Geiru did it. It's the smell of... You can do it. Try to remember. Oh, it's Geiru. Geiru's the only one who wears perfume. Oh, the smell of... Oh! Owen!
It seems Owen is now resting in the infirmary. They certainly have their hands full today down there. Let's continue with this trial.
Despite Owen's testimony, it is the opinion of this humble servant, the Holy Mother, that the child's words were insufficient to clear the accused of suspicion. But what about the scent of perfume Owen mentioned? I believe it's a clue that will lead us to the true culprit.
But there are thousands of perfumes in the world.
It could even be the scent of the hair product the accused uses.
He does have one amazing hairstyle, so that's certainly possible.
The witness is a 5-year-old boy. He cannot tell the difference between conventional perfumes and hair products. Why couldn't you have gone for a crew cut or something, Bucky? What's more, the only person who can cut soba noodles with such precision is the accused, and no other. They didn't cut the noodles with precision. They buried it. They gave it to the dog to eat. Oh man, how am I supposed to argue with that? And so, the person Owen saw at the scene of the crime can only be the accused, Bucky Wet. Who just said hold it? What the? Hey! I never use hair products or any aiding with a smell. If I wore something like that, the smell get into the soba. Boom, check it. He's giving everyone food right now. Mr. Wet, aren't you supposed to be resting in the infirmary? Whatever. You'd think I'd let my Soba Stinko perfume try that chilled soba for yourself and see.
I believe we have no choice but to try it, strictly for examination purposes, of course.
No, the judge is just hungry.
Now then, let's dig in, shall we? That was delightful.
Hmm.
Well, I'm satisfied that there are no traces of hair products or perfumes, Mr. Wet Soba. First sweet bean buns, and now savory soba. What a delectable trial this has been. Yeah, Judge isn't gonna have to eat dinner tonight. This texture is different from the soba I had the other day. It reminds me of a dish we have in Korean called banu upon. And Nayuda also had food. Oh my god. What's your, dink, Miss Chickadee? My soba's pretty good, isn't he? Mm-hmm. It's delicious. Don't you think so, Simon? It still pales in comparison to his late father's cuisine.
Sasami, why you always gotta be so hard on me?
Bailiff, take the defendant back to the infirmary at once for some rest.
Rest! Hey, I ate lumpo plain old weedy udon dough, you know? I'm fresh like my soba. You don't let soba dough rest. It's about the 3 freshes of soba. Grind the seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh.
Good grief, what a defendant.
At least Bucky wasn't the source of the perfume smell. Wait, smelly perfume.
It looks like you remembered something.
It's Geiru, the phrase smelly perfume. Reminded me of a certain somebody.
Oh, and who might that be?
There's only one person that comes to mind. The phrase smelly perfume reminded me of this person. Balloon artist and her master senior disciple. She has 12 years of performances under her belt. Geiru.
Take that!
Geiru Toneido. Yes, she did smell very nice, didn't she?
Just a moment, defense. You would throw suspicion on Geiru now because of a scent? Your Honor, there is no need to go along with these ever-changing claims of the defense.
I suppose their claims have been awfully inconsistent.
But Geiru could have been at the crime scene.
Yes, but...
You'll get to see those balloons of hers if we call her back to the witness stand. How vulgar. His Honor is not interested in such things. He wants to see the balloons again.
Setting the matter of her balloons aside entirely, I do believe it's appropriate to ask Geiru some questions given the circumstances. This has nothing to do with her balloons, of course.
Thank you, Your Honor. Polkunga! Thank you for calling this disciple of the Tornado School for Kugo back, for an encore. It's me, the balloon artist you all know and love. Geiru Toneido. 1, 2, balloon. She's the murderer.
What wonderful balloon artistry!
Your Honor, please. Now then, what would you like to make, for you this time? Actually, I called you back for more testimony. But I'm all talked out. This case left me completely deflated. What? You didn't find that funny. Anyway, what exactly is going on, Simon?
It seems the person who murdered Master Toneido was wearing perfume.
And you were the only person I could think of who wears perfume. Wait, you mean I'm a suspect now? Geiru, you knew about Owen, right? Well, yes, I often played with him at Shizo's request. So that means you could have left that fake dying message, right? What? Just because I wear perfume and know Owen? You think I'm a murderer? Oh, how could you? No, you are the murderer. The witness is absolutely right. With no evidence but the distorted memories of a small child. It's outrageous of the defense to accuse this woman. That's right. You don't even have any proof. You may step down from the stand, Geiru. The defense does not have one scrap of evidence that connects you to the crime. Wait just 1 minute. I may not have proof, but Owen's testimony is still... Enough! Please feel free to leave, Geiru. But I'm so close. There must be something I can do. Well, if the prosecutor says it's okay, then I guess I'll be going now.
Silence!
Oi, Geiru, you're an entertainer, aren't you? Once you go on stage, it's your duty to complete your performance, is it not? So what are you doing, leaving halfway through?
Oh, look at that bandage. Look at that. You saw that. There's a bandage on Geiru's forehead. And since we know that Master Toneido's killer has a cut on their face somewhere... Impossible. How did you know, Simon? I didn't, but I had to take a chance and see for myself. Otherwise, your theory would remain a groundless accusation. Your Honor, Prosecutor Sadmati, the scent of perfume, and injury on the forehead. These things are completely consistent with Owen's testimony. In short, the mysterious individual Owen saw in the dressing room could have been Geiru.
Miss Sykes, does this mean you are formally indicting this witness for the murder of Typhoon Toneido?
Should your accusation prove to be false, I hope you are prepared to pay the price in full. Simon, what price is he talking about?
I thought that should be obvious. Prosecutor Sadmonk is saying he'll see to it that you never stand in a court of law again. I must say, though, he knows how to make a trial interesting.
Just whose side are you on, Simon? Go on, then.
Into the deep end with you. You really have but one choice anyway. Well, Miss Sykes, I'm waiting.
With regards to witness Geiru Toneido, the defense wishes to indict her. There's no reason for me to hold back. Not if I really believe in my client. The defense wishes to formally indict Geiru Toneido for the murder of Typhoon Toneido. I have tried to be merciful, but now not even your pleas will reach the Holy Mother's ears. You will have plenty of time to regret your decision, in the pit of hell. Except I won't need to. The person who murdered the victim was not Mr. Wet. It was Geiru Toneido. That bandage is just from a silly slip-up I made while cooking yesterday, that's all. What kind of extreme cooking were you doing to cut yourself on the forehead? Well, what can I say? That's what happened. You also don't have an alibi for the period before 4 p.m., do you, Geiru? But, I really didn't know anything was wrong until Shizo was found dead. If you don't believe me, then with a twisty twist twist! And Balloon! There you have it, an adorable little kitty. How could you suspect a cute-as-y, whittle balloon artist like me, Geiru, I've been meaning to say this for a while now, but could it be that you don't have an eye for balloon art? Don't you think I know that? You didn't have to come out and say it. I'm the daughter of a great Rakugo artist. I never wanted to do stupid balloon art. I was supposed to be a Rakugo storyteller too, just like my late daddy. But Chizo told me to do balloon art instead. I guess the victim thought she had no talent as a Rakugo artist either. So you're still gonna suspect a poor little thing like me? She's being manipulative right now. She definitely did it. But please stop trying to skirt the issue. It all comes down to the scent of perfume, and the cut on your forehead. You and the culprit Owen's testimony share these two traits. You're dead set on accusing me, aren't you? Well, here's what I have for naughty little girls like you. With a twisty twist twist! I'ma cut you, witch. What? Go ahead, make me testify all you want. When the truth's revealed, it'll be your ballooner mind that goes pop, got it?
Oh my! Is this yet another hidden personality?
Simon, is everybody in the Toneido school like this?
How should I know?
Witness testimony. Oh, this is gonna be good. What I did before the murder. Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. Chizo and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. I saw that no Chizo left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know? The perfume Owen smelled must have been left over from when I visited. She took the dough outside and fed it to the dogs. The dog didn't want to eat it and buried it. So Geiru's saying she went to the dressing room but then left right away.
Don't take her at her word.
Come on, do you really think I would? I'm just trying to figure out how to get her to talk about what really happened.
Now then, Miss Sykes, you may proceed with your cross-examination.
What I did before the murder. Yeah, I visited the dressing room during that time to make a courtesy call after my act. A courtesy call after your performance, huh? Come to think of it, Undo mentioned making the same kind of visit. Yeah, a visit to your master before and after your routine. That's just common courtesy with us Rakugo artists and entertainers. So that means you pay the victim a courtesy call before your performance, too, right? What did you see at the time? He was having a drink, getting himself into a festive mood. He liked to say that drinking, gave him a silver tongue. So he was already drinking by then. Undo wasn't there in the dressing room yet at that time. He must have gone in there during my act, because when I went back... Shizo and Owen were in there, but they were both snoring up a storm. Could you describe how they appeared? They were both stretched out on the floor, snoozing away. So sitting the victim up and over the table must have been the culprit's doing. After all, who wouldn't stretch out on the floor if they could to take a nap? Plus, that matches up with what Owen said in his testimony. But if he was asleep, how could you tell it was Owen? How did you know it wasn't Undo? I've known the guy for ages. One look at his face and I know which one I'm dealing with. I just see. I saw the note Shizo left, so I just left. Didn't want to disturb him, you know. Where did you find your master's note? I don't know. Can't remember. Did you notice anything else unusual or out of the place in the room? Well, there was the sake and a half-eaten manju on the table, but I didn't see anything else out of place or whatever in the room, though. Oh, is it that a fact? Of course it is. What you think? And you didn't change anything while you were there. I didn't do anything. Look, I'm telling you. I didn't see anything funny near Shizo, and I didn't touch anything in the room. Your baldness, I request that Geiru's last statement be added to her testimony. Simon, what's a statement like that going to do for us? Just play along and you'll see soon enough.
I have no problem with adding that to the testimony, but how about you, Miss Sykes?
I have no problem with it either, Your Honor. What is Simon thinking? I didn't see anything funny near Shizo, and I didn't touch anything in the room. So I just want to confirm. You didn't see anything at all unusual or out of place around the victim. I already told you, nothing. And you didn't touch anything at all in the dressing room. How many times I gotta say, no, I didn't touch anything? Wait, but then, she's saying she didn't see what Undo immediately saw when he checked the victim's body. Does that mean it wasn't there yet at the time? Oh, hold on. I guess there was something. What is it? The soba making equipment was already there in the room. That means Bucky must have been there in the dressing room before me doing something. Thanks for the non-help. Well, a new statement has been added. But she's still sticking to her guns.
She said she didn't see anything unusual in the dressing room. But that strikes me a little strange on its own.
Really? Why?
If Master Toneido really is the one who left that, you'd think Geiru would have noticed it. And Master Toneido wasn't the one who left it, then we must ask, who did? You know what I'm getting at, don't you, Athena?
I think so. I really appreciate Simon's help, but I've got to come up with the answer myself this time. The cards. Owen 4th. The cards. I didn't touch anything in the room.
Objection!
The cards. Geiru, you said that you didn't notice anything odd or unusual near your master. You also said you didn't touch anything in the dressing room. That's right. What about it? Then I wonder who left that dying message with the Karuta cards. What are you going on about? It hadn't been that Bucky. Sorry, but that's not possible. Because only 3 people knew of Undo's personalities. Undo, your master, and you. That's true.
If Bucky had left that Karuta message, he wouldn't have spelled out Owen. He would have spelled out Undo.
What it boils down to is this. As a member of the Toneido school, you, Geiru Toneido, are the only one who could have left that dying message. And as the person who left that message, it's clear that you are Master Toneido's killer. Will you ever quit your yapping?
Objection.
You are like wretches clinging to the spider thread of salvation. Allow me to cut that holy thread from the heavens and bring you back down to earth. Would you quit butting in whenever things start to go my way? Silence, child. Playtime is over. What did you just say? As the witness stated, she went into the dressing room and soon came back out again. But the victim's note was not the only reason she left with such haste. There was another reason that compelled Geiru to leave at once. Geiru, would you please relate said reason to the court? There was a reason why Geiru had to leave the dressing room. Well, I didn't want to show you this, but I guess I got no choice. Keep your eyes peeled, because here it comes. Your hand is all swollen and red. What happened, Geiru? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. What? Wait, that proves she did it. Because if she suffocated him with it, allergic reactions to buckwheat can vary, though they're usually on the severe side. With Taibu Toneido making soba noodles in his dressing room, Geiru was lucky to still be alive, considering all the soba flour that was swirling in the air. Good thing I left pretty quick. I managed to escape with just a mild reaction. But I touched Shizo as he was being carried away, and look at what it did to my poor hands. Hang on. The dog, she was feeding, there must have been soba broth on his clothes or something. If I'd inhaled any of that soba flour, I'd had a seizure, and it'd been good night, Geiru. I never could have stayed in that dressing room for very long.
A person allergic to buckwheat couldn't be in a room with soba flour in the air. And certainly couldn't use soba dough as a murder weapon either.
This isn't good.
You knew it would come to this, didn't you? That's why you never mentioned her allergy.
As if I would do anything so underhanded. I was simply trying to protect the privacy of this witness. I'm sick of all these accusations. Why don't I just testify and get it all out in the open, yeah? Geiru's buckwheat allergy. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me. Look at my hand, just touching Shizo's body caused this much damage. There must have been soba broth on his clothes. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. Still can't believe it. Nobody told me she had a soba allergy. Did you know, Simon?
Does it look like I knew?
Protect the privacy of the witness, my foot. What a dirty trick. Now what do we do?
There's only one thing to do. Put Prosecutor Sadmonk to shame with your cross-examination.
Right. No matter how small, I'll find us an opening and break her testimony down. This is it. This is it. We're gonna get her now. Geiru's buckwheat allergy. If I come into the slightest contact with buckwheat, I get an allergic reaction.
Hold it!
You're not lying about this soba allergy of yours, right? Of course not. I swear on the grave of my father up in heaven. I can even get you a doctor's certificate if you want. She seems to be telling the truth. I've had this allergy for as long as I can remember. But I never dreamt in a million years it'd clear me of murder.
And you'll come out of this smelling like a delicate buckwheat flour to boot.
Well said, Your Honor. And with that much soba flour in the air, that room could have literally killed me.
Hold it!
I'll give you that there was quite a bit of flour scattered about in that dressing room. But you went in to pay your respects to your master regardless, right? Yeah, but like I said, I came right back out. I mean, the soba making tools were right there. You better believe I was careful not to breathe any of it in.
But you still could have committed this crime if you held your breath while doing it. Don't be ridiculous. I would suffocate to death before Shizo did. Yeah, I guess you're right. Jeez, get a grip, will ya? Look at my hand. Just touching Shizo's body caused this much damage. Maybe there's a twist here. Like you're actually allergic to dogs and not Soba. You kidding? Bringing my little Jugamu in here, I'll hug and squeeze him like there's no tomorrow. I'm telling you, I have a genuine, honest, to goodness Soba allergy. Defense. The witness clearly has an authentic allergy to buckwheat. Any further deliberation on the matter would be meaningless. Pointless. Worthless. You heard the man, lawyer girl. Alright, fine. I was just starting to think the same thing myself. Doesn't mean I have to like it, though. I probably got this allergic reaction on my hand here because I touched Shizo. There must have been Soba broth on his clothes. I have a question about that, actually. If you're allergic to Soba, does that mean you're allergic to the noodle broth, too? Well, the buckwheat from the noodles can dissolve into the broth, so duh. Touching Soba broth can be just as deadly for me. Don't you know anything? What an amateur. I'm sorry. Do I look like a doctor to you? Look. Anything that has Soba in it, or anything that has touched Soba, is like poison to me. So I never could have committed that murder in the dressing room. So I just want to cover all of my bases, but could the murder have possibly occurred somewhere other than that dressing room?
Objection.
That is out of the question. By even asking, you show your complete disregard for all we have discussed until now.
Yes, I have to agree. The defense can't go around suggesting new premises without basis.
Unfortunately for you, Shizo didn't take a single step from his dressing room around the time of the murder. Well, that is unfortunate for everyone. Geiru could not have possibly committed this crime in a room where Soba was being made. Finally, the time has come for the last rites of the victim to begin. What would Mr. Wright do at a time like this? Off jets. There's only one thing to do. What are you smiling about? Has the pressure overwhelmed you? Nope. It's just that the worst of times are when lawyers have to force their biggest smiles. I see. You have no rebuttal, and so the only thing left for you to do is to smile. Oh, ho, 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 ho. That's where you're wrong. I do have a rebuttal. Turn your thinking around, Athena. Don't try to figure out how Geiru, who is allergic to Soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Geiru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead. Let me rest, huh? Me be if I were a lump of regular flour dough for Udon noodles. But I'm fresh, like my Soba, and you don't let Soba dough rest. It's all about the three freshes. Grind the buckwheat seeds fresh, cut the dough fresh, and boil the noodles fresh. He's blacked out! Resting, do not disturb. It appears to have been written by the victim. Allow me to read it. Resting, do not disturb. Yes, that was the note I saw. After reading that, who wouldn't think Shizo was napping? If you must know, I'm allergic to buckwheat. Mon Dieu. What if that certain piece of evidence doesn't mean what we think it means? If that's the case, I might be able to prove that Geiru could have committed this crime. No matter how hard you search your mind, you cannot overturn facts.
Well, Miss Sykes, if you have no further objections, I'll hand down my ruling.
True, I can't overturn facts, but what if we got our facts about a piece of evidence wrong? Got our facts wrong? What are you talking about now?
And which piece of evidence do you mean, Miss Sykes? Please point it out to the court.
This evidence proves that Geiru could have killed her master, even with the Soba allergy. Hmm. The dumplings.
Take that!
I believe Geiru uses to avoid triggering an allergic reaction. No, no, no. What did she use to avoid triggering an allergic reaction? The foil? Could she have put that on her face?
Take that!
No, no. Okay, no, no. This is it. I just have to think. I have to think very carefully now. Diagram of the backstage area. This is it, but... How Geiru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction instead. Geiru could have killed her master. Don't try to figure out how Geiru, who's allergic to Soba, could commit the crime. Figure out how Geiru could be in that room and not have an allergic reaction to it.
Take that!
It's Master Toneido's note.
The note!
Preposterous. What possible connection could there be between the witness's allergy and that note? The answer lies in the true meaning of this note.
Its true meaning.
This note does not mean I am resting, do not disturb as we had assumed. Resting, do not disturb. But rather, it actually means this dough is resting, do not disturb it. This dough is... This dough is resting, do not disturb it. Oh, so it's meant for the dough. Wait a minute, Athena, that doesn't make any sense. You're right, it doesn't. After all, Bucky told us many times, you don't let Soba dough rest. What's this jibber-jabber gotta do with anything? This is it, the home stretch. This no Mr. Wet's words led me to the conclusion that Master Toneido was... making udon noodles? No, not making anything. Master Toneido wasn't making anything, of course. Let it go, and move on, defense. Even if the victim had not been making Soba, Geiru still could have entered the room. The reason being that the room was covered in buckwheat flour.
It seems that it is the defense that isn't making it.
Ah, crap. Hang on. Okay. Making udon noodles, then. The victim, Typhoon Toneido, was not making buckwheat noodles. He was making ordinary udon noodles instead. Hokunka! That layer of flour in the dressing room wasn't soba flour, but plain old wheat flour for udon. So actually, it was totally possible for Geiru to be in that room and kill her master.
What? But if that's true, it changes everything.
Your Honor, the defense requests that the flour in the room be tested immediately.
Objection.
But soba noodles were found in the bowl, and Geiru did have a reaction on her hand. How do you explain those things? Well... This is it. Even were it udon flour instead of soba, you still cannot prove Geiru committed the crime. But... Don't lose your nerve now. Keep charging forward or you'll feel my blade at your back. And enough with the threats already. I got it. Talk about pressure. Alright, Athena. Take a deep breath and go over everything again. This is it. This is the final part. Now we put it all together, how she did it. I'm going to revisualize the case from start to finish. I have to find conclusive evidence that Geiru committed this murder. What was Master Toneido making in his room? Udon noodles. Master Toneido was making udon. By my logic, Master Toneido must have been making udon noodles in his dressing room. But something at the crime scene indicates otherwise. What was found in the bowl on the table? Soba. There was a soba bowl in the room. Even though the master was making soba noodles were found at the scene. So that makes means the noodles had to have come from somewhere. Wait a minute. One mysterious serving of soba noodles. That sounds familiar. Where did the soba in the bowl on the table come from? A catering service. A catering service brought it. Wait a minute, it wasn't. Then somebody must have delivered it. No, I thought it was. It's Bucky. The Master Soba stock, because I know Bucky brought it. The soba was from the Master Soba stock. The soba noodles found at the scene were from the Master Soba stock of uncooked noodles. Then why would the culprit go out of her way to cook that soba and put it in the bowl? Why did the culprit cook the soba noodles and put them in a bowl? To hide the udon dough. The culprit wanted to hide the udon dough. Soba was found at the scene, so that means the culprit must have taken udon with her to hide it. Why did the culprit take the udon away and hide it? It must have been because... has a grudge against udon? Killed him with the udon dough. The dogs buried it. The murder weapon was udon dough. That's it. The udon dough is the real weapon used to kill Master Toneido. And the reason why no weapon was found is because Geiru got rid of the dough somehow. The real murder weapon was the udon dough the victim made. If we can find this dough, that'll prove my theory correct. And undoubtedly prove Geiru's guilt. Even if we could find this dough, what makes you think that it would prove she is the one? Please recall Owen's eyewitness testimony, Prosecutor said, Maddie. If the injury on Geiru's forehead was caused by the victim's knife, then Geiru's blood must have dripped down onto the dough used as the murder weapon. That would make the dough pretty conclusive evidence, wouldn't you agree? Ah, but where is this conclusive evidence? It's buried in the yard. Let us hear your theory on where this murder weapon is. It's buried in the yard. Well, it's... I can't find the answer in this evidence I have on hand. We'll lose a trial. So how did Geiru get rid of the udon dough? Think, Athena. What do I have that points to this suspicious behavior on Geiru's part?
Now then, Miss Sykes, let's hear your answer. Where is the real murder weapon hidden?
Nice barking you did there. I assume you have the bite to back it up. He's giving a hint. The dog. Stop distracting me, especially not right now. This piece of evidence can point us to the location of the hidden murder weapon. Simon's statement.
Take that!
Geiru. Huh? What is it? I'm just an innocent girl. I don't know anything about a murder. Stuff that cute act in your balloon hat. Geiru got rid of the dough she used to kill Master Toneido in a bold and daring way. She did it right in front of Prosecutor Blackquil's nose, by feeding it to her dog. No, Of course, now it all makes sense. I was puzzled as to why Geiru should know her own dog's eating habits. Would feed Jugumu more than he could possibly finish. Your Honor, please order an investigation of the yard right now.
And what should the police at the theater be looking for exactly?
Jugumu must have buried his leftover dumplings somewhere around his doghouse. Dumplings that Geiru made out of the udon dough with her blood in it. No. This is preposterous. I want to thank you, Simon. If you hadn't kept me going, I might have given up along the way. What are you blathering on about? You still have work to do. Now, by your hand, finish this wretched case off, Athena. You got it. Geiru, do you remember what you said would happen when the truth was finally revealed?
When the truth's revealed, it'll be your balloon or mine that goes pop. Got it? Well, now the truth is out, and it looks to me like it's your balloon that goes pop. Pokunka. I'm a Rakugo artist. I was the one who was supposed to inherit that name. But then, Shizo... Why are my balloons bursting? Daddy, are you mad at me? I've been a bad girl. Ari... Oh. Are you ready to tell us everything now, Geiru? The whole reason I entered the world of Rakugo in the first place was to follow in my father's wonderful footsteps and inherit his stage name. His stage name? You don't mean Udon Toneido. I knew I wasn't very good at storytelling, but I thought that if I did the stupid balloon thing like Shizo wanted, I'd inherit the name someday. But Master Toneido gave the name to his junior disciple. Yeah. That's why I took my revenge on Shizo during the show celebrating the name succession. So that was your entire motive. I doubt anybody else could understand, but inheriting my father's name was everything to me. It was my whole reason for living. Of all the days you could have taken your revenge, why did you choose the day of the show? Because I wanted to pay Undo back for stealing what was rightfully mine. I wanted to pin the blame on him at the show, where all the Toneido fans were gathered. But then, Undo tried to shift the blame onto Bucky Wet. And now we know the whole story. There's just one more thing I want to know. Did you know Master Toneido was making udon in his dressing room yesterday? No, I didn't. When I saw the soba making tools, I was worried about my allergy. But it was my only chance to get my revenge on the two of them, so I went ahead and did it. So it was a premeditated crime, but in the end, you only went through with it on impulse. Then the allergic reaction on your hand. Is it from touching the soba in the refrigerator with your bare hands? When you were tampering with the crime scene after your master's death? Yeah. By that time, I wasn't clear-headed enough to worry about my allergy. Geiru, how could you do all this? You idiot. Geiru, I get your desire to inherit your father's name. But what you really should have inherited from him wasn't his name, but his heart. His heart.
Do you have anything to add, Prosecutor Sadmati? Any objections?
No, Your Honor. Miss Athena Sykes. Yes, that's the first time he's used my name. I shall be sure to remember your name. Really?
It seems he finally recognized you as a proper adversary.
Thanks. That's all I asked, Prosecutor Sadmati.
It looks like there are no further objections. Bailiff, please bring in the defendant. Ah, good. It seems you have made a full recovery. Now then, this court finds the defendant, Bucky Wet.
Not guilty, yay, we did it.
This court is adjourned.
May 13, 11:55 a.m. District Court. Defendant lobby.
number 6. Congratulations, Bucky. I'm so glad you were found innocent. Thanks for everything, Miss Chickadee. But it still sucks that you were accused of a crime you didn't commit. Did Undo have it out for you or something? I don't think so.
Undo said it was a spur-of-the-moment idea he got when he saw the Soba-themed cards.
Simon, where have you been?
I stopped in at Undo's questioning. Only you, Bucky, could get framed for a crime on a whim.
And also, I will say about this is that, as ridiculous this case is, if anything remotely close happened to this, is, Undo would still get arrested also. Not for murder, but tampering with a crime scene. That's what he would. And also, trying to pin the blame on somebody, even if you didn't have anything to do with it, that's also a crime. No way. I almost got convicted out of convenience. Well, at least you've been completely cleared of all charges, so buck up, Bucky. On a more important note, what I really want to know is, why didn't Master Toneido let Geiru inherit her father's name? What do you mean? On a more important note, Miss Chickadee. Don't be such a wet blanket. Just go with the flow. Now, come on. You think the Master was trying to encourage her to quit the entertainment business? No, that's not it. He didn't give the name to her because he wanted Geiru to find her own calling in life. To perform whatever she wanted without being bound by her father's name or Rakugo. Making Udon was his way of showing his support for her in her new endeavor. So that's why he called you to the theater, huh? To teach him how to make Udon.
A more roundabout way I've never seen, but that's Master Toneido for you.
So this entire incident happened because of misunderstanding. How sad.
By the way, Geiru wasn't the only person Master Toneido was trying to cheer on, even though the person in question still seems unaware of the Master's intentions.
What? You talking about me? Come on, no way. All that old man ever did was criticize my Soba. That's not true, Bucky. There must be a way to make Bucky see just how much Master Toneido cared about him. Found the victim's possession. It's the deed to the Soba shop. The deed holder is Bucky Wet. Yep. The deed.
Take that!
Take a good look, Bucky. Whose name is on there as a holder in his title deed? It's still in my name.
Master Toneido was just up to one of his tricks when he said he stole the shop from you. He was trying to force you to grow into a truly capable owner in your father's steed.
He probably used some tough love on you so the shop wouldn't just go belly up. Oh, his hair is like noodles. I see. I never knew Master Toneido. I'm so sorry.
Keep working hard, Bucky, and pay him back by living up to his expectations.
Thanks, Simon, and you too, Miss Chickadee. One day, my Soba's gonna be so good, it'll knock that old man's socks clean off. After all, I'm the 4th generation owner of Wet Soba. Wet Noodle number 4. Well, I better be getting back to my shop. I gotta get ready for the lunch rush. Hold on. Could I place an order for delivery, Bucky? Yes, Miss Chickadee. Could you deliver a bowl of Udon to Geiru on behalf of her master? You got it. I'll make sure it's got all the TLC Master Toneido would have packed in it too. Thank you. Well, see you. Be sure to drop by the shop sometime. I will, and I'll bring the whole agency with me. Do us all proud, Bucky. I'll have the best Soba in town waiting for you when you come. Peace out. Ah, it's nice to see somebody giving it their all, isn't it? I wonder if I leveled up any thanks to this case.
Don't kid yourself. The trial would have been a spectacle and half had I not been by your side.
You don't know that.
For a lawyer who's versed in psychology, you're too full of weak points. You need to learn to analyze yourself more objectively.
Or you could teach me your famous mind tricks, Simon.
No.
Why just shut someone down, and why not?
Because the more pesky lawyers there are, the harder my job becomes. So it's in my best interest for you to remain green forever.
Hey, what about what's in my best interest, huh? Besides, weren't you the one who had the wool pulled over your eyes by Undo? Must you remind me? How could I have known Undo would do Time Soba? Hey, speaking of Time Soba, I just thought of something funny. Oh goody, I can't wait. Okay, here it is. Time Soba. In Time Soba. Why didn't, Mon number 9 get counted? Come on, do you know, Simon? How should I know? Because 7, 8, 9. Thank you. I'll be here all week. ROTFL.
That I should have known. Come on, let's go get Soba or something and go home.
Your treat?
I'll treat you to 50% of the tab
And don't forget, you still owe me for that manju. Really, Simon, it wouldn't hurt for you to pay for me, every once in a while, you know? Quit squawking and start walking, Athena. Hey, wait for me! I may still have ways to go as a lawyer. But just like Mr. Wright, Paulo, and Simon before me, I'm going to get there someday. After all, I've inherited their passion for our courts and the law. Jiapu, l'affaire, I can do this. That's what that means in French? That's French. Okay, so that is the end of the case there. So basically is, She killed Master Toneido over a misunderstanding because she wasn't going to inherit her father's name. But Master Toneido just wanted to basically push her to follow in whatever she's good at. He knew that she wasn't good at Rakugo, and he basically wanted her to follow into something else, something that would make her happy, something that she was talented at. It's kind of sad at the end there, but that case was not as bad as I thought it was. Like a lot of you guys said in the comments, considered the worst case in the game. I guess like you can make the arguments kind of weak compared to the other cases, but it was still a decent case overall. At the end there, it was actually better. You know, it was better written. If it was like Undo's fourth personality who did that, that would have been stupid. So I'm glad that they cleared that up. But thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed this part. We still have 2 cases left. And technically, the next case that we have, the last case in Spirit of Justice. But even though it's the last case in Spirit of Justice, it's there's still a DLC case that takes place after that case. But that's the main case in the game, the final one. So we'll wrap this up here, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.